Hello and welcome to this morning's Liverpool news roundup here on Anfield Agenda. My name is Conor and I'm going to take you through all of the latest Liverpool news, including the future of Arne Slot at Liverpool. We have some transfer links with Alessandro Bastoni, Malick Fofana and Rodrygo. We have a new contract offer being made to Ibrahim Konate and some links with Federico Chiesa to leave the club. So please do hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and let's jump straight into the news. We'll start with the manager then. So last night Fabrizio Romano did come out with this. He said Liverpool still view Arne Slot as the right man to take the club forward, and I agree. I think he will be the man to bring us forward, and I think the club are not going to make any hasty decisions around this one. I think they will give him the season regardless, and look, we haven't been good enough this season so far, but them two games during the week against Real Madrid and Aston Villa was enough for me to see that the players haven't given up on the manager yet, and I'm sure by the time we get to March, April, May, we will be starting to see this team properly click, and if not, then I think a conversation has to be had at that point, but I think you have to give the manager at least 6 or 8 months to actually put this team together, because it's always going to take time for new players to settle in and a new formation, new system, whatever way you want to word it, to properly work. So I think by the end of the season, we will have a great indication and a good insight into whether Arne Slot is the man to bring Liverpool forward or not. But I don't think we can really make a decision until that point, in all honesty. But yes, ideally, you would like every single player to hit the ground running and settle in quickly, but that doesn't always happen. And Liverpool as a club are dealing with some new issues that we're just not used to. We're not used to having so many good players. This transfer window we just went through in the summer was night and day between that and any other transfer window we've ever had. We tend to go for players from smaller clubs, not no disrespect to any club obviously, but bringing in Alexander Isak, Florian Wirtz, huge signings, record breaking signings. That's not what Liverpool generally do. So it is a new challenge because there's been a lot of talk around egos and just stuff like that around the forward line in particular, but all these players, they all want to be the man because that's what they are. They are £100 million plus footballers. Of course, they want to come in and be the main man. So, look, there's a lot of issues at the club. I'm sure we will figure it out eventually, but again, I don't think there's going to be any hasty decisions made on Arne Slot's future. So, it's good to see Romano coming out with this and just kind of backing up the idea that FSG and the club hierarchy do see Arne Slot as the man to take the club forward. So, all the best to Arne Slot in figuring it out, because I can't figure out what's wrong, but I'm sure he will eventually. And like I said, I think by the end of the season, we will have a very good indication of where this team is at, how we're going to do next season, and if indeed Arne Slot is the man to bring the club forward. Next up, then, we had a breaking news report this morning from L'Equipe in France, who said Liverpool have presented a new contract to Ibrahim Konate. They are confident of coming to an agreement with the defender. Now, his future has been really up in the air. It's gone back and forth so many times. If you'd asked me 6 months ago, I would have said, yeah, he definitely stays. I think he loves the club, possibly even a future captain. But with the way the last few months have gone, the Real Madrid links, his form himself, I've gone to a point where I don't really care anymore. If he stays, then brilliant, fair enough. I would rather he stays ultimately, but if he does leave, I'm kind of fed up of it at this point. If he goes, we will replace him. Life will go on. We will be okay. But like I said, if this is true, then happy days, because he's a good defender ultimately, isn't he? He is better than what we're seeing this season. But like I said, won't be the end of the world if he goes. But it is still good news if he stays. So good news on that one if that is true, of course. We have some links this morning as well with Alessandro Bastoni of Inter Milan. Is this a player Liverpool are realistically going to sign? See, I would say no usually, but then I wouldn't have thought we'd sign Florian Wirtz and Alexander Isak in the summer either. So God only knows on that one really. But Liverpool are ready to spend €100 million on Alessandro Bastoni. Arne Slot wants to sign the Italian in January to strengthen his defence, and that is from QN Giorno, which is an Italian publication. And what can you say about this one? I've no doubt he's a player we would want. I've no doubt we'd be willing to spend that kind of money on him because he is that level of a defender, but I'd have my doubts he wants to even leave Italy at all. Whether he'd want to leave in January is another thing entirely. I can't see this one happening. Again, I can fully see that the club would want him, but I don't believe this one personally. So I still think we do need to sign some defenders. I think one in January at least, because we are short of numbers. All we have is Konate and Van Dijk really, because Gomez just hasn't been that good and he can't rely on his fitness. Leone is obviously out for the season, so I think we need a centre back in January, and then go and get Mark Gahey in for free in the summer. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be Bastoni we see in January, but a centre back of some sort will be very much appreciated. Next up then is a report around Malick Fofana. So this comes from Sport, who say Liverpool, Arsenal and Barcelona are all in the picture to sign Lyon's Malick Fofana, who is 20. The Premier League duo have shown the most interest in bringing the Belgium international. And look, this is a player we've been linked with for a while now. We've seen links throughout the summer with this player. I think he nearly joined Everton in the summer, if I'm not wrong. Like, there was talks there. I think Nottingham Forest were involved as well, but he kind of just held off and decided those weren't moves for him. And it's probably the right thing to do. Like, you might as well stay at Lyon for a while and wait for the likes of Liverpool or Arsenal or whoever to come in and make that big jump up rather than going to the likes of an Everton, like a little tiny small club like Everton. It's not worth the move, is it? It's not worth getting out of bed to move to Everton, in fairness. So he looks good from what I've seen of him. I can't profess to have watched a huge amount of Lyon, but any compilations, any highlights you see, he does look sharp. It is what we need ultimately. Like, we do need more wingers at the club because we're kind of lacking in forward options. Like, I think Federico Chiesa, we'll get on to him in a minute as well, but I think he probably will leave in the summer because Arne Slot doesn't fancy him. Rio and Gamoja obviously looks electric, but he's not going to be starting many games. Like, he's too young. You can't have that pressure on him. So, look, if we could get Malick Fofana in, whether that's in January or in the summer, I'd be happy about it because it's a player, obviously, that we do like. We've been watching him for a while, and he could be up for a very reasonable fee because Lyon's general manager came out and said this. He said, I said in September selling Malick Fofana was never on the table for January. We'll see what happens in the coming weeks. Financially, things aren't great, so we have to see what we can do. So look, never say never. We could sign Malick Fofana in January. I would personally be very happy with that because, like I said, we do need another forward option, which sounds just ridiculous, doesn't it? Like, when you see us bringing in Ekitike, Isak, Wirtz, all these lads in the summer, but ultimately, like, we've replaced the players we lost. Like, we haven't really added any depth to the squad, so another winger, another defender, probably another midfielder then as well. Like, so there is missing parts of this squad still, which is crazy to say after the money spent. But Malick Fofana, I would definitely take him because, like I said, he looks very sharp, he looks bright. He looks very much like the type of player Liverpool would sign traditionally. Like, this looks a lot more like a Liverpool signing than Alexander Isak, Florian Wirtz would have last year, let's say. So look, I could see it happening. Let me know in the comments if you would take him at the club. If you've watched a lot of Ligue 1 and Lyon, please do let us know what kind of player he is because, like I said, all I've seen of him, he does look very sharp and fast and quick, and we all love a player like that. So yeah, let's hope we can get that one over the line. But that's not the only winger we have linked with us for January. So this comes from ESPN Brazil, who say Rodrygo is unhappy with the lack of opportunities, and now a January exit is likely. Real Madrid would prefer not to sell him in January, but are open to offers. In the case he does leave, Rodrygo will prioritise a transfer to the Premier League. So look, again, another player we spent all summer speaking about. Obviously, I would take Rodrygo over Malick Fofana ultimately. If you're looking at maybe 40 or 50 million for Fofana or 60 to 70 million for Rodrygo, I think you have to go for Rodrygo. I'm sure his wages might be an issue as well, to be fair, but like, who gives a shit? Like, if we can get Rodrygo, let's get him in because that would be an incredible option to add to this attack. And yeah, again, I probably don't see it like Bastoni. I probably just don't see it happening. Like, we just see these kind of reports all the time, especially coming from the likes of Spain and Brazil, and particularly around Real Madrid players. Like, we just never really buy these kind of players, do we? So look, but then again, like I said, I've said that about Isak as well. I didn't think we'd go out and sign him. So again, never say never. But yeah, another interesting link. But good to see it's being linked with wingers because, like I said, I do think we need a winger ultimately. So yeah, good to see it's being linked, but don't see this one personally. Sticking with wingers then, we have had some more reports of Federico Chiesa being linked with a move away. So this comes from Emanuele Comoroto of Napoli magazine, who said, one thing is certain, Napoli will make another attempt for Federico Chiesa. They'll try again and perhaps this time hope to convince him to leave Liverpool. And we've seen reports of me linked with Napoli and other Italian clubs in the summer. It did look likely he was going to leave, and I think if the club had managed to get in another winger in the summer, we would have let him go. It seemed like it was just gone too late in the window. We hadn't got the targets we wanted, and we just needed the numbers, so Federico Chiesa stayed around. I love him personally. I think he's been brilliant when he has played, but obviously Arne Slot doesn't fancy him. So look, will he end up at Napoli? Probably. He probably will end up back in Italy at least. If not with Napoli, then someone else. Whether that's in January or the summer, I'm not sure. I don't think we're going to let him go in January unless we do get someone else in. So I think unless we sign a winger, like maybe Fofana does come in, maybe Chiesa then is allowed to go, which again doesn't really help our squad depth, but at least it'd be an option that the manager actually wants to play, because Federico Chiesa just keeps getting ignored and he deserves better than that. Like, so he needs to play more for Liverpool or just move away and get the game time he deserves, because he's a fantastic player. seems a really good fella as well, and just really positive. And it is just shit, isn't it? Like, it's just shit situation to see him sitting on the bench every week. And I'll be sad if he does leave, of course, but I'll be happy for him because I know he can't be happy with this. Like, he puts a smile on, he says he's happy, but like, ultimately he can't be happy with this, can he? Like, he's just not getting the minutes he deserves. Even that game against Man City, like, what did he get? 6-7 minutes, like, in a game that was already dead. It's not fair on him. So look, I can't blame him one bit if he does want to leave, but yeah, let's hope for a happy outcome for Federico on this one. That's all from me this morning anyway. Craig will be back in the afternoon with a video and then live again from 8:45 this evening, so please do check those out. Hit the like button if you've enjoyed this video, hit the subscribe button if you're new, and I'll talk to you very soon. Thank you very much for watching.